All right, what's up, y'all? All right, check me out. I just want to make an appeal. You know what I'm saying, to, like, my brothers and my sisters. You know what I'm saying. This is I'm in Los Angeles in Long Beach actually, and I want to holler at my brothers and my sisters, man. They broke up a party out here not long ago, and people got upset. You know what I'm saying, that the police came through and was trying to break it up, talking about social distancing and all that shit. But to be honest with you, yeah, it's time to distance yourself or overdose of distance. You feel me? Um, you don't know who got it, and when they got it, they might get sick and die. They might get sick and not die. They might just have mild symptoms, period, and nothing else. But you just don't know. That may seem like it's random, but I don't believe it's random. Personally, I believe it's direct. And what I mean by direct is that everybody has DNA. That's the one thing that everybody that we all know. If a virus is going to attack something, it has to have a hunger for it. Well, seems like it attacks some people, but it just ain't that strong enough, to get through to do whatever it got to do to make that end. But the direct part I'm talking about is people dying that are healthy. Not just people with underlying issues, not just old people. Some of these people were healthy. It leads me to believe that it's across the globe, there are a lot of healthy people that have actually perished from this. You know how we don't get the whole truth, or we don't get all the news, you know what I'm saying? Um, y'all probably want to treat it as such. I believe it's like a genetic marker in that virus, man, that once it locates whatever, that marker, a person, once it gets in the person, and the virus sees that person has that marker, it'll kill you. And that ain't the whole population. It's enough to, start to alleviate the burden of overpopulation in the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's a good way to do it without causing any attention to said whoever. You feel me? That's just my thoughts. Um, I challenge you to take a look at where viruses come from. I challenge you. I challenge you to get online, get in a book. If you still got an encyclopedia set, break that out. I challenge you to take a look and find out where exactly does viruses originate. Um, was it a big bang? Was it something that just I don't know, just put itself together and came about? Why does it inhabit a body, and then replicate the way it does? You know what I'm saying? Since we all on lockdown, I challenge you to get to get in a book or on the internet and study and find out where viruses come from. People, brothers and sisters, man, just do what these people asking you to do, for real. Because I know you would feel really bad if Granny or Nana or whatever you call your grandmother, grandfather passed away, or your uncle who's diabetic, or your uncle who, you know what I'm saying, who got hypertension, die because you wanted to go to a party and picked up a cup that somebody else had in their hand, and they had it. Now you got it because you rubbed your eye or dug in your nose or just wiped your mouth, and bam, you got it. You ain't showing no symptoms. You go home. You hobnob with your family, and then bam, they got it. And you like, well, where the heck? Uncle ain't been nowhere. How he get it? And then you got to take a look at who been out the house and who been doing things that are contrary or opposite of what they're asking you to do. You know what I mean? So just adhere to it, man, until we can like get a decline on this shit, and then you can go in on somebody. You feel me? But until then, man, give people an overdose of distance for real. Stay in the house as much as you can and stay separated, man, because this ain't no joke. It ain't no nightmare. It ain't a movie. This is real life. Hey, if you want to know more about it and how it works, rent those two movies, Outbreak and Contagion. Go online and rent those movies, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you really got to go online and see them. Go to YouTube and watch them so that you can kind of educate yourself on how that shit work. I guarantee you won't be going to no parties after you watch these movies, man. Real stuff. I'm a respiratory therapist. I'm a registered respiratory therapist. I've been a therapist. I've been a respiratory therapist since 2010. Before that, I was a cardiology technician. I've been in the Navy as a hospital corpsman. I worked in the pulmonary clinic there. The worst thing you can possibly have happen to you is the inability to breathe. Suffocation is painful, y'all, and it's slow. And granted, you will pass out before you actually die, but when you're in the process of passing out, you know death is knocking on your door. So these are things that I don't want to. When they said that one state needed 30,000 ventilators, being a respiratory therapist, do you understand? See, respiratory therapists are the ones that manage ventilators. Ventilators equal life support. Anytime you hear a person say, yeah, such and such was on life support, that's a ventilator. They asking for a bunch of ventilators. That means people going on life support, y'all. When they asking for like 100,000 ventilators, man, come on, man. That's a bunch of people that got tubes down their throat into their lungs, and they got people like me managing that ventilator, breathing for them. This shit ain't no joke. So I urge particularly my black community, man, my peoples, man, chill, man, chill for real. Look up the Black Plague. Look up the Black Plague. This ain't the first time on the face of the earth that a bacteria and or a virus has wiped out a significant amount of the population of the world, man. This is not the first time. So I do realize that it's possible, but with the knowledge that we have today and the resources we have today, this shit shouldn't have never happened. And whether the shit mutates or not, it doesn't matter. We should be like in a readiness mode for some shit like this. You feel me? Caught with your pants down, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Because we sending people to fucking Mars, to the moon, but we can't keep a virus from killing millions of people. Something's wrong with that shit. Like I said, if you ask me, I think it's a genetic marker in that virus that kills certain people that has that genetic marker. And I don't know what, I'm telling you, genetics is a motherfucker, man. They have the ability to create a black baby with blonde hair and blue eyes off of genetics, off of DNA, ribonucleic acid, splice, they just add it to the helix, to the DNA helix. They add that component and the child comes out with whatever it is. It could be a boy if you wanted a boy. It could be a girl if you wanted a girl. It could be a fucking hermaphrodite if you wanted to be. That's how genetics work. And genetics is precise. So anytime they say you got a genetic marker for cancer and it goes on generations or it skips a generation, and then that ain't no fucking by chance. They could put a cancer marker in your DNA and you could pass it on for generations. If they can add blonde hair and blue eyes to a DNA helix, you don't think they could add a cancer to a DNA helix? Just like they can add a marker to a DNA helix that a virus would actually seek out to kill. So I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. My opinion is like an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got them, and most of them stink. You feel me? But I ain't gonna waste time on that. Bottom line is, and I'm just appealing to my brothers and my sisters, man. Just listen to these folks, man. And if they tell you to give people overdose of distance, give them an overdose of distance. Real shit. I'm getting ready to go back in. I'm getting ready to go into this fight. They call it a war, and it's kind of like a war because see, I'm 50. I ain't got no underlying issues, but shit, if I got whatever the fuck it's, that virus is seeking out to kill people, then I'm a goner. But I gotta go in and help folk. Man. So I'm gonna go with the state. The state, I don't know where they're gonna send me, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna manage some people's life support machines, ventilators. I'm gonna encourage them. I'm gonna pray with them. I'm going to administer medication and monitor them so that they're getting proper oxygenation and they blowing off enough CO2 to keep them from becoming acidotic. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go in, man. I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy. I trained with field medicine so I can go with Marine troops, and I'm the medic in the platoon. I'm the medic, so to speak. I could patch a motherfucker up with nothing. That's what they taught me how to do. How to keep a person, sustain a person until you get them to the landing zone. You can get them, on a chopper so they can go get some real help. I'm that nigga. So this thing here is some different type of shit. So yeah. So I just want to encourage you all, man, to, you know what I'm saying, keep an overdose of distance between folk, and pray for people, and hunker down, man, until they say you can come out, because it's not a joke. Pray for me. I'm finna go in. I'm finna try to help some folk, man, and hopefully you guys will adhere to that, and not be at parties and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then get upset when the police break it up, because this is not a joke. It's not a drill. This is real life. It's not a dream. This is real life, y'all. This shit is real. I know some people out there is like, no, I have faith. I believe in God. God got me. Where's your faith? Man, look, God gave you a brain. He gave you 2 eyes and 2 ears. That's so you can see. He gave you 2 eyes so you can see some shit. He gave you 2 ears so you can hear some shit. 1 mouth to speak some shit. So stop speaking and listen. Overdose of distance. Chill out in the house until they say you can come the fuck out. I bullshit you not. I've been in healthcare since 1988, and I have never seen nothing like. I studied it in school. That I did do, but I never thought I'd see it with all the technology that we have. I never thought we'd see this, but you know what? I do understand that everything is possible, that anything is possible. I also understand that they have weaponized viruses. It's called biological warfare. They have weaponized this shit. What do you think Ebola is? Now, Ebola is the word. See, I thought when them people got out of Africa with Ebola, I thought this is what was getting ready to happen, was what happening now. Did you see how they jumped on that shit? They jumped on that Ebola shit, and they snapped it out, right? They couldn't jump on this shit. That means that this thing had to jump on us. It had to jump on us. Probably was released, and then they said, we'll wait for such and such date, and then we'll bring it out. Here's another thing that's kind of fishy. If it started in China, in a wet market is where they sell fish on, put the fish on ice and, shit on ice, and a wet market. Then how come ain't shit else came out of a wet market? And if it started in China, how come people ain't pissed the fuck off at China for not containing that shit? Like real shit. This is like on some world proportion tragic type shit. You should have at least 50 countries like at China's doorstep, like, you bitch ass motherfucker. Real shit. And I ain't talking about on no racial shit. I'm talking about on some humanitarian national security type shit for all sovereign countries. because this shit ain't no respecter of person. You know, look at what it did to Italy. Look at what it's doing to Spain. And that's another thing. How come we ain't hearing about what the fuck is going on in Finland, in Iceland, in Denmark, in fucking Africa, in South America? You know what I'm saying? We ain't getting no news about that shit. How come we ain't getting no news about that? Chinese people don't fucking migrate all over the world. You fucking right they do. You find Chinese people in every country of the world. Every country of the world. Now, if it started there and it proliferated the way it did, somebody need to be at China's door, like telling them they got to explain some shit and make restitution, real shit, because this ain't no fucking accident. It ain't no fucking accident. It ain't by chance. I mean, I do understand that, you know, it's happened before in the face of, but man, with the tech, we sending people to the moon and shit. We sending people to fucking Mars to live. You know what I'm saying? They got private companies sending rockets up in the, man, real shit, y'all. When this shit is over with, if we as a people don't rise up and demand some explanation about this shit, then we might as well just die along with this virus, man. Because this threatens us for generations, y'all. Because just like it came, just like it went down, and it just like it came, it can go down and go away, but it will come back because people have developed antibodies for it. And then that's another thing. We don't know if antibodies actually work yet, because this is the first time it's been here like this. It may come back around and be a different strain, and the antibodies that your body naturally created for it against it won't work because it have mutated into something else, coronavirus 21, and we'll be right back at the same motherfucking, you know. But anyway, man, I'm going in, y'all. I'm going in. I'm gonna go try to help some folk. Pray for me. Pray for yourself. Pray for your loved ones. Stay the fuck out the street as much as you can. Be in the house. You know what I'm saying? Kids are gonna be all in your face. As much as you wash your hands, wash your baby's hands right along with you. Them not touching their face and different things, that's gonna be hard to do. So that means that you got to be on your rigorous to keep that shit away from your front door. Real shit, y'all. This is DjMeezy, aka I'm a healthcare worker. I'm a registered respiratory therapist. I've been at this shit since 1988. I'm 50 years. I'll be 50 years old in October. This is not a drill. This is not a dream. This is not, you know, some caked up ploy by the LAPD. This is some real motherfucking life or death shit. So I for my folks, my African American folks, man, especially here in LA, Long Beach, man, you know, Compton, shit, it don't matter where you at, man. I'm just trying to appeal to my folk because I'm like y'all, but I've gone to school and I've studied the shit. And microbiology is one of the most interesting classes you could possibly take. Well, the most interesting class I could take, but it's some scary shit. And just to give you an example, the Black Plague killed a lot of people on the face of the earth back in the day. The Black Plague ushered in the Dark Ages. The Black Plague was nothing but bubonic plague, which, if I'm not mistaken, was a bacteria that rodents were infected with, and the rodent feces and people getting bit by rodents it jumped from the rodents to humans, but it was deadly to humans. And see, back then they didn't have the technology we have now, so they just had to weather that shit, and people died. Oh, scarlet fever, that was another one. This shit has happened over the existence of human human existence, man. But like I'm saying, with the technology that we have today, this should have never happened, man. I bullshit you not. Even if we had to like design some type of automatic temperature takers when you go through customs or some shit, whatever. Just, somebody should have been on they thought process and kind of like, I guess they'll be on it now, shit. You know what I mean? But they have, like I said, they have weaponized viruses. They have weaponized biological bacteria to be able to wipe out a population. I mean, this is not a drill. So, it's all kind of shit that's going through my head, man, in terms of how this shit got out. But, that's neither here nor there, because I ain't running shit. But I am finna go try to help some of my peoples, man. I'm gonna go try to help. And when I say my peoples, I mean humanity. I don't mean just black folk. I mean fucking humanity. Because, see, here's the thing. Race ain't gonna mean shit when you rely on the next man for your survival. And if you think I'm bullshitting, keep living. It can get down to that, to where you will have to rely on that white man or that Mexican man to keep your ass alive, and he will have to rely on you. Then you ain't gonna see no color. All you gonna see is survival. So I implore you to think with that type of mindset, because a virus, a bacteria, they don't give a shit if you black or white. They just looking to survive, and it's about survival. So if they trying to survive, so are you. Just like that white man or that Mexican man or whatever, you are an animal just like the rest of the fucking animals out in the world. They eat, we eat. They breathe, we breathe. They shit, we shit. They eat, we eat. They reproduce, we reproduce. We are animals. We were just given a gift to separate us from the rest of the animals, which is consciousness. The ability to realize that I ain't have to go on no, what do you call it, on instinct, that I could actually create some shit. And if you ask me, the creator gave us our ability to create, which the creator. So I'm gonna say the creator, because I know nowadays it's a lot of now I ain't gonna say agnostic. I'm gonna say, well, some agnostics and some people that just don't believe. It's a large population of youngsters that don't believe in any God or any Jesus or none of that. I'm gonna say okay, but I'm gonna tell you this. In the course of your life, you're going to come across some things that you ain't going to be able to explain. And it's going to be more than one instance. Call it a divine energy or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm calling it Jesus Christ. I'm calling it God, the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. That's just me. That's how I was raised. Now, I challenge you. Here's another challenge. You know that little voice inside you to tell you not to do some shit, but you do it anyway, and you always get the consequences of it when you do it anyway? You can liken that to the Spirit of God. How about that? How about we do that, okay? Because that thing don't never lie to you. When it speaks to you, it speaks softly, but you feel it and you hear it loudly. Sometimes you don't hear it loudly. Sometimes you cancel it out. But when you hear it and you override it, that's when you get the consequences. All y'all know what I'm talking about, because in society, they have these sayings. One is, my first mind, or something told me. There it is. If something telling you to stay your behind in the house, stay your behind in the house, man. Real shit. If something telling you not to go outside, don't go outside. If ain't nothing telling you not to go outside, just don't go outside yet, man. Don't do it until this shit subsides, because like I said, you'd hate to be the one that brought that shit in the house and otherwise kill a family member of yours, and you never intended that to happen. Okay, so from me to you, much love. Pray for me. I'm gonna pray for y'all, and I'll try and do this once a week, even when I'm on the front line out there trying to help folk and decontaminate some shit and help people breathe and all kind of shit. You know what I mean? So All right, y'all. Much love, and I'll talk to y'all soon.